The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Samrai.
What's up?
What's poppin', man?
I'm good.
Man, I remember catching on to you from the Blazin mixtape days.
That was a long time ago.
And the DMCs when that shit was on and cracking. So I guess for the DJ fans and fans in general, tell us like the come up, man, like even when you were into it but weren't professional yet, like how'd you get into it and then how'd you get to a point where you started doing it professionally?
What had happened was I had friends who were DJs and we all were kind of getting into it. And for some reason I'd always want to like scratch and do that. So, I'd go to these parties they were doing, like these little house parties. And I'd jump on and kind of attempt to do stuff. But it was never like, it was nothing. And then I bought equipment. Then I bought turntables and a mixer, like proper. I bought 2 Technics and a Vestax mixer. And I was like, all right, cool. I've got like what I need. And then I remember the first day I opened up and I just started just messing around doing stuff. And I had some other friend DJs who actually knew, like, they were kind of a bit more advanced in the sense of it. And they were like, yo, man, how long? They came over. I remember this clearly. I was in my room and they came in and I'm like scratching and doing stuff. And they're like, yo, man, how long you've had your equipment? Like, oh, man, I got it this morning. And I'm like, what? They're like, yo, man, it takes like guys like years to learn do what you're doing now. I'm like, really? And then that's when I was intrigued. That's when I started like going, oh yeah, I can do stuff. And it sounds like them and it sounds like that guy and it sounds like that. And then I started watching like Babu and, and like Q-Bird and Craze and all that and those guys. That's when it was like, oh, okay. And then I started entering DMCs. And so within that kind of like, it took me like 6 months to get to a point from not knowing what I was doing and not having turntables to entering a DMC competition. So that's what freaked everyone out. They're like, and I was never going to enter. But my brother was like, you should do it, man. Like just enter. And even if, just try not to come dead last. Even if you beat one person, as long as you beat one person, who cares? There's 16 guys that entered. Like, cool. As long as I beat one person, I'm happy. I did it. I'm happy. And I came third. And that's when it was like, okay, I think we're onto something here. And then next year just came back and won New South Wales and came second. And then title, pretty much the titles just kept like flowing after that and just kept getting better placings and higher placings. So, yeah. And then the Blazin kind of came up.
So the year that you got turntables, that same year, you came third in the New South Wales DMCs.
Yeah. 6 months.
And what year was that?
99. No, 2000. I don't even know. Yeah, 2000. Because I came... No, 99. Because in 2000, I came first. And then I came third in Nationals. So a year and a half later, I was... No, I came second. That's right. I forget my titles. So I came second to Dexter in 2000. And he went on to come second in the Worlds.
To Craze.
Yeah, to Craze.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like...
Shit.
Whoa, man. Like, I almost beat the guy that almost beat Craze. Like, but I never looked at it like that. I was still fresh. It was like a year and a half. Like, I was going up against guys who... like, they were 5-10 years deep. It was like a year and a half. And they were like, how long have you been doing it for? Like a year? I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. So, and then the following year I won Nationals and went to Worlds. So it was kind of, but even then I was still, if any DJ, any turntablist, it takes years. So I'm like 2.5 years of having bought turntables, I'm now at a DMC World Final. So I was like, I was in the deep end. I was in the, like, you don't understand how deep I was. Like, I knew straight away. Like, I went there with a plan. I had my set. And that set stuffed up. Like, everyone knows, there's that story of, like, because what happened is DMC was, like, a couple of days after 9/11. So, customs were on, like, hard ass mode. And, like, I had to, like, pull apart all my records, like, out of the sleeves, and they stuffed with my stuff. So when I got to DMC's, like, everything was scratched up, and I was like, oh no. So I had to come up with a set, like, the day before the World Finals. So I was kind of like, it was worse. It was the worst situation ever. But even with the set I had, there was guys that were like, man, it was +1 and clever. Like, I was not meant to be there. Like, it was like, okay, I shouldn't be here right now. Like, I knew how, but it was a good lesson. It was a good, like, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to be on this level. And not just this level, I need to be ahead of these guys. So wherever they are, I need to be like 2 steps ahead. So that's when I kind of turned around and was like, all right, cool. Let's really kind of focus on it and push boundaries and see how far I can take it. And that's when I became more kind of creative in my own space, because I was watching other guys and like, I want to sound like Babu. I want to sound like Craze. I want to sound like this. I was like, you know what? I want to sound like me. I want to like do me, and I want to kind of set the trend and be pushing the limits. You know what I mean?
Not many people in general, let alone from Australia, win nationals, go through the qualifiers, make the worlds, and get on that stage. And man, like, if you made that VHS back in the day, you was popping.
Yeah, you had to do something.
Walk us through, I guess, the preparation and the mentality, like, like when you're preparing for it, and then on the day, and you get to the venue, and just the nerves and everything. Walk us through that whole experience.
I mean, yeah, you have a day where you got to do a 3-minute, and they judge you on that to put you through to the finals the next day. But it's weird. It's a stage. It's a lit up stage. You can't see anything past the stage. There's nothing. There's no one there. There's only like some judges sitting down on a chair. It's like some sort of like Australian Idol type of situation where they sit there, you walk out, you do your thing to nobody, just the judges, and then you leave. Like, it's not really like, it's weird. So you have to have this like presence, but there's no one there. It's kind of like, okay, well, there's judges there, but there's no like people cheering. You don't get that. So you have to go and just show your skill set, which is pretty much all it is. They just want to see your skill set. Back then, you got to remember DMCs and the turntable scene wasn't, it was dope, but you had so many countries who were like in this competition, and the level of skill set obviously wasn't the same. Major countries, America, France, England, that you and Japan, you knew their skill set. They were going to come in and just, yep, cool. But then, like other countries like Greece or Uzbekistan and all those, like, well, where are they going to realistically, the Philippines, where are they going to be at? So they have to do this thing where they're like, okay, you come on for 3 minutes, show your skill set, and then we pick the 14 best out of that. And then the next day you do your 6 minutes and you go from there.
So 2002.
Yeah.
When it came, so you were defending your 2001 title because you won nationals, you went to the Worlds. Then 2002, you came back, you defended, or you competed.
You competed, yeah.
But you didn't win that one.
Nah.
So who got first and where did you place in 02?
I placed second to I forget his name. This Melbourne guy. Oh, he was originally from Perth. Oh, I forget. It's that long ago.
Do you remember the night, and do you remember how you felt when you didn't get first place?
Yeah. Because it was worse, like, having, like, an original routine that no one had, like I was doing stuff that hadn't been done before with sounds that hadn't been done, and I had, like, juggle patterns that hadn't been done, and scratches that hadn't been done, and I was just like, wait a second, I lost to a guy that totally bit P-Trix's style. P-Trix was US champ from the previous year. It's like, what happens with turntablists in DMCs in that era? You would see Craze, and he called it. Craze did his style, and then the next year, everyone jumped on his style. You know what I mean? And P-Trix did his style, and then people started doing P-Trix style. So it was kind of like Select. That's his name. Select. He just took P-Trix's style, which is kind of like, it was as I said, there was DJs that kind of did that. Like they would be influenced, their sets would be influenced. He was just overly influenced. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that guy. The guy sucked.
So you thought you should have won that year?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I should have won that year. That was like a hands down win.
So why do you think you didn't win it?
Well, because I was being judged by guys that didn't have a clue what they were. And I told them all straight up. I was just like, you guys, you make me realize how this scene is going to be, where it's kind of like we don't have enough qualified turntablists. No, we do have enough qualified turntablists, but it just kind of like, when you have like 10 judges, it looks good. Like, we've got this judge, and we've got this judge, and we've got this guy from the radio station, and we've got this guy from the hamburger shop down the road. Like, all right, cool. That's great. So kind of like, I realized like, okay, these guys don't have a clue. Because then I had pretty much, 80% of them then contact me or bump into me and see me at a show and do their apologize. Like, hey man, saw the footage. Sorry, we didn't see that. I didn't see that. I'm sorry, man. I didn't, on the night, there's a lot going on. It's like, all right, man, what can you do? You know what I mean? But that's when I realized, yeah. So then after that, I got told by Craze and some other guys, like, you gotta do it where it's undeniable. That's when I kind of was like, all right, did I deserve to win? Yeah, I think I should have won. I think from a turntablist, a real turntablist point of view, and the turntablists that were judging all had me first. So from their point of view, I should have won. But at the same time, I got to take it on the chin and be like, you know what? Crazy and that are right. I didn't do it in a way where it was like undeniable. Like when Dexter was on, like that year that I was in, I watched him and I was like, whoa. In the first like minute, I was like, this guy's won it. Like, this guy's won. Hands down, no matter what he does now, doesn't matter. Like, he's won it. It's a wrap. I didn't have that. I didn't have that. It's a wrap. Like, what I did would have been received well overseas, but it wasn't received well here, which was proven again at Red Bull last year. It was like, it wasn't received well here, but then over there it was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. But here, our level is, it's a cause of our level. You know what I mean? People have a certain point where they go, yeah, we understand to this much. You know what I mean? And we never push the boundaries. You know what I mean? And it's guys like that push the boundaries that don't really get the notice in the turntablist world. Like, look at Zeke Beats. Guy's a freak. You know what I mean?
Perth, West Coast,
Yeah.
down with Qbert.
This is Q-Bird's protege.
Yeah, he's
You know what I mean?
ill, man.
And
He's
killing
real
it.
ill.
He's killing it. But, if you look at the Australian turntable scene, he's not mentioned.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, man, because
He's won titles. Like, he's got titles, man. The guy's got titles. And Q-Bird's protege. He's Q-Bird's protege. He's not like, he was an understudy for Q-Bird. That's
an accolade in itself.
come on, man. That's insane. For an Aussie, Outback Aussie, like, man, that shit's crazy. But that's where I kind of like stepped away from the scene. I was like, you know what? The scene's not really kind of for me. And I noticed it real quick because I was like, okay, because I was like, I did my thing. I was the first turntablist from New South Wales to win a national title. At that age too, I was the youngest. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing the comps anymore. We'll leave it to the others. Other guys can come in. My goal was never to win that, but then I won it, so it was like, all right, cool, sweet. And then I was kind of like, all right, cool. It was like, I'm gonna do my thing, and the turntables world is gonna do theirs. You know what I mean? Like the Australian turntable scene just kind of went its own direction. You know what I mean? And I kind of was like to this day, I never judged. Not that I didn't want to, but I was never asked to come judge a national final.
Shit, I thought.
And I was never asked to judge a New South Wales final, which is crazy because it's like, wait a second, we've got a New South Wales guy who is the only champion kind of come out of New South Wales, but never asked to judge or come do a show or do a performance or anything, which is like, to me, it's like, cool. I was busy. I was mad busy. So I was like, I'm not like sitting at home twiddling my thumbs like, why isn't the phone ringing from these guys? I ain't give a fuck. So I was like, man, I'm cool. I got signed like literally straight after DMCs. So I was like, because I lost DMCs in 2002, and I was like, okay, cool. This ain't for me. I need to pursue my real passion, which was DJing. And literally like a week or two later, it was like, hey, Universal wants to sign you. And I was like, oh, one door closed and one door opens. That's how life is, like, and that's what I loved about that situation. So, and it's good because it's kind of like, I like being that outside guy, you know what I mean? The one that's not welcome, but can just slaughter everyone. And I can be that. I can be that dude. I'm good like that. I can do it.
And do you think, I mean, if you feel like at that particular point in time, you weren't welcomed with open arms into the whole turntablism thing, do you think that maybe that was partially because you were good and dudes were intimidated, or why do you think that was?
It was that, and because I wasn't like, which is weird. It happened with. See, we're the result of what happens worldwide. At that kind of stage of turntable scene, like it was all hip hop based, strictly hip hop. If you were a turntablist, you had to be a hip hop DJ. You had to play Aussie hip hop, and you just had to be hip hop. And then kind of craze came in and started playing drum and bass, and everyone flipped out and like, you can't do this, and he copped slack. So it kind of. We linger from that. We have this turntablist is about hip hop only, and hip hop is just hip hop, and I came in without that. I came in like, well, no, I idolize this guy who's playing drum and bass. I'm not playing drum and bass, but I realize, well, we don't have to play hip hop. We can play other stuff and do other stuff. And then Dexter was playing like Jimi Hendrix. I was like, okay, cool. Well, let's do that. And then it kind of was like it shifted. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. You're that guy gonna play, commercial stuff, and do that when you don't really like Aussie hip hop. And I like Aussie hip hop, but my sets are based on good music. What I feel is dope, which gets me amped. You know what I mean? Like, I love like Hilltop Hoods and Pegs, 360, and all those dudes, all those guys from back in the day too. Like heaps of them, you know. Like, but I love them like where I listen in the car. I love them. You know what I mean? But I kind of was like, when I play sets, I create my sets based on what gets me hype, like what I want to like jump around to. So, and the same with DMCs. I was kind of like, I want to play stuff that I thought was crazy at the time, and I have a crazy sense of sounds. So I was using like a lot of like hardcore, gabba, like real grungy, just sounds, like hardcore sounds. What they have now, which is they call it hard style now. But back then it was just called hardcore. It was just like real techno-y bass, but I'd use those sounds and flip them in a hip hop hip hop shit. So which is what we do now for trap. So I was like, I was doing all this stuff that we kind of relate to now, but back then I was doing it back then. But so it's kind of like I was that dark horse guy, which kind of worked for me. And I was like, I wasn't really on the forums and doing all that. And so yeah, and I realized how retarded it is retarded. I don't give a fuck who's watching. You guys are retarded. I realized how retarded it was. I remember I did nationals the first time, and where Dexter won, and his brother Kuya was in it. It was in the same. So Dexter was defending, and Kuya was the Melbourne champion. And I remember this is my first time in Melbourne. Like, I've never been to Melbourne. I'm young, like 18 or 19. I was young, bro. And I remember going to this comp, and it's like everyone was just on this, we've had enough of Dexter and Kuya mentality. And for me, I was like, man, I love these guys. These guys are dope. But it was like, nah, man, you guys got to come in and get these guys. I was like, okay, the mentality towards these guys who are in the scene, who are putting us on the map, like realistically, Dexter had been to the world twice previously. This is going to be his third time. Like, these guys are setting the scene. You know what I mean? Like, these are the guys right now. And I could feel the tension towards these guys. I was like, wait a second. This seems weird. I thought it was meant to be like everyone's, dope and push each other and it's dope. DJing's dope and turntables is dope. But I realized how kind of twisted it is. And then I remember watching that night. And I knew my set. I seen Dexter, I was like, he's won. And I seen Kuya's set. Kuya's set was better than mine. Hands down, he beat me. Me as a judge, I put myself third. Not second. I put myself third. I was like, Kuya should have won, but Kuya should have came second. But I could tell it was like that tension between this other scene. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But the tension was like, we can't have Dexter and Kuya win. Like, we can't have a first or second because these guys are like going to control everything. Like, man, fuck that shit. He hands down. So I went on my first time I went on a forum because I had friends like, yo, man, you got to go on this turntablist forum and there's people asking about you. Like, all right, cool. And then I seen all these posts hating. Like, man, people were just hating on Dexter and hating on Kuya and hating on me and hating on everyone. I was like, whoa, shit. So I went on and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to be honest, my opinion. Because people were asking for my opinion. I was like, I don't know who the fuck these people are. They're like, what's your opinion? I was like, I'm going to be honest. I did my thing on I was like, but I'm going to be honest. I don't feel I deserved second. I feel I deserved third. And I pretty much wrote that. Like, literally wrote, I pretty much deserved third. Kuya beat me. He had a better set. I should have got third. I don't think I deserve second. But I'm going to take it. Thank you. But I think he deserved it. I think, and on the night that I came second, I actually said on the mic, I feel like Kuya beat me.
Well, you said that when
yeah, I'm sure that on that night, when they called me second, I said, I think Kuya beat me on that. And I gave him a shout out. I remember he was on the side of the stage. I gave him a shout out. He beat me. Like, his set was dope. But that's from me. That's from what I watched. I don't know what the judges saw. Maybe they saw something different in me, because it's hard to judge yourself. You always think like, my stuff's not that good. So I might have been judging based on, my stuff wasn't that good and his was better. But I went on this forum and I was like, I don't think I deserve second. I think I deserve third. And people just started like, who are you to think you deserved first? And like, you're saying you don't deserve second, you think you got first. And I was like, oh. Calm down. Like, and back then, forums is what social media is now. You say one thing and people don't read what you say properly. They take what they take on fiery emotion. They read and get worked up and don't read exactly what it says or means, and they go off a tangent and go, okay, I'm gonna say this, and this, and then, we've all had that post we've got to reply and go, you didn't read it
properly. Read
it properly and go back and then answer. So I kind of had to deal with that. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with these fuckers anymore, man. Fuck this shit. That's when I was like, all right, I want to get out of this kind of scene.
So that was 2002.
Yeah, it was a mix of 2000, 2001, 2002, that kind of era. But 2002 is when I was like, man, I'm done. Like, forget this. You know what I mean? Like, where we had Dexter put us in third place. Like, we had Dexter put us in third place, actually put us on the map. And I was like, cool, I have to follow that up by doing something different. I know I have to go overseas and do something different. I have to go to the World Finals and show them, like, this is who we are. We do something totally different. But in 2002, I tried to do that, but
didn't work out.
We went with the Petrix wannabe guy. So,
and just real briefly,
we got slaughtered for that. And from that, man, I don't know what happened after that with DMCs. It just got worse. It just got worse.
I remember, the Blazin mixtapes, which to this day, to my understanding, are the most successful mixtapes.
Oh yeah, they are.
Like R&B, hip hop mixtapes,
No
that ever dropped in Australia.
Yeah.
And I remember the first one was Nino Brown and Nick Toth. But then you was on the rest of them.
Yeah.
So tell us about getting signed to Universal, meeting Nino Brown, getting on to, those Blazin mixtapes.
I knew Nino already from DMC's, because the year I came in 99, that was his last year doing it. You know what I mean? So he'd already been kind of in the scene. And Nino was a big name back then. So I met him and we started like chopping shit up together, and and then he did the mix with Nick Toth, and then I'm not sure what happened with that. I think it just didn't really. I'm not sure. Like they approached me like the year after, and they're like, you and Nino, it's a great fit. I'm like, it was a good fit. It worked because me and him were bumping off each other anyway. So, and I'd come off all these DMC stuff, and I had all these placings and titles, and it was like, all right, cool. We've got the biggest hip hop R&B DJ, and then we got the biggest turntablist right now. So let's put them together and put out this project. And it worked because it went from the first year, and then the second year just skyrocketed. And then the third year, it just kept getting bigger, which was which was the plan, you know. So, and it worked, and yeah, then it put me in a different position in the club scene, because I wasn't then just now looked at as a turntables. I was looked at as a DJ, like, because they were hearing me mix. I was like, oh wow, this guy can play music now, which is great. So it kind of worked, and it put me in that world, which is the world I originally wanted to be in. Like, that's where I wanted to be, a club DJ.
Let's talk numbers, because I chopped it up with Nino, and I can't remember what numbers in terms of sales he said, but being with Universal,
it was like,
I just remember it was some crazy numbers.
It was like gold, platinum. I don't know. Back then, I think gold was like 35 plus thousand, 40,000 plus.
I think, yeah.
And then platinum was like 80,000 plus.
So you guys, so you guys were going gold and platinum.
We went gold to number 3 gold, number 4 gold, number 5 platinum. Pretty sure. We were like doing big. We were doing big numbers. Like, it was massive numbers. But we had TV commercials.
I remember seeing them joints, man.
I saw it. I didn't even realize. I seen it and I was like, I'm on a TV commercial. Like, it got real. It got real when you were on TV. You had a commercial. I was just like, okay, this is next level. And that's when I was like going out of town and like signing people's stuff. That was when it was like signing people. People were like, oh, can you sign my forehead? Like, what? I'm going to sign your forehead. Nino was signing titties and stuff. I'm like, nah. Nino was signing titties. Yo, man, this girl wants you to sign the titties. Back then I was young. You kind of like, you scared. I was still like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Signing people's stuff. People were like, can you sign anything? They would have literally anything on them. I was like, weird. It was, but that was where we were at as DJs. We were like celebrities. You know, we'd go to ARIA Awards, you know, and sit at tables with like big artists and stuff. Be like, oh, what do you guys do? Like, we're DJs. Like, oh, DJ guys. Yeah, we're DJ guys. DJ guys.
And then, so where did, because if you was going platinum, you know, on like say Blazin 5. Yeah. So then what happened after that?
I came to a point where I was like, okay, with my career, and like I never settle. I never get to a point where I settle. I've never been that guy. I hate. I don't want to kind of always do the same. I never wanted to be stuck doing the same thing, because you don't fulfill your life doing that. For me, it didn't. You know. So when they were like, oh, we're gonna do like, Nino's gonna get his album, you're gonna get an album as well. Like, we're gonna separate it, and you can do whatever you want. And I was kind of like, yeah, cool. I do want to do that, you know. But I knew myself. I was like, oh, I don't know. I kind of want to branch and do other something else. Get like, I've done this. I've done this 4 years now. Like, what's the next? What's next for me? You know, like, and it worked out because, like, you know, Nino did his, and CD sales weren't really as they were back then. I don't know what had happened. Downloading came in, and things changed. Downloading came in, people weren't buying shit. So, you know, they were like, oh, we don't know if we're going to do your deal now. And I was like, you know what? It's cool, because I kind of feel like this is happening for a reason. I need to do something else. And it did, because just like with DMC, when I was like, you know what, I'm done with this, I need to move on to something else, and the door quickly opened with Universal. When I said, oh, I kind of don't want to do this, the door quickly opened with Channel V. And they were like, hey, we want to put you on this TV show. And I was like, okay, checkmate. Like, we just stepped up another notch. So it's like one door closes and the other door opens, but they've been better doors. Like it's always, and that's where it's kind of like it's kept me, you know, where I'm at, like in life, happy, and you know, I see things how I want to see. I kind of did things how I wanted to do them, and it's got me to that point. Cause I've kind of gone, you know what, I'm gonna do me, how I want to do me, and say what I want to say, and I'm gonna trash anything I want. I don't really care. Like I know, it's kind of like I should be this happy, humble guy, but I'm not. A lot of people say that too, like, oh man, you just got to be humble. It's like, you know what? Come to think about it, if I was humble, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I was a humble guy. I've always been a ferocious guy. Like I say what I want, do what I want, and it works out. It always works itself out.
When keeping it real goes right.
I'm keeping it real. I'm nice to everybody though. I'm the nicest guy in the world. I love everybody, and I always want to see people doing well. But I hate when people do it the wrong way, and it's kind of like you don't need to do that. So I kind of was like with Universal, I was like, cool, that door closed, TV show door opened, and I was like, yep, I'm going down that way, and it worked out. That was crazy. That was superstar level after that.
So tell us about that. So what year did the...
That was 2000... Oh, yeah, 2006, 7.
So that was after. So you've done the DMC thing.
Yeah, done the DMC thing. Then I moved into Universal, did the Blazin thing, and in between that time, I did ITF. And then right after that, that's when Channel V kind of stepped in and was like, "Hey, we got this TV show. We got this bus." The Channel V bus thing we do. We travel up and down Australia, like on the East Coast, something. And what we're going to do is Maya Jupiter is going to be the host. And you guys are going to have these like MC battles, these rap battles, like in the local, wherever we stop. We're going to stop in an area, you know, we'll hit the major cities, but we'll also hit like Rockhampton and Mackay and all these places. And then we'll have rap battles. Like, all right, cool. You be the DJ, and you and Maya will talk and like judge and do. Your
so, what was the name of the show on MTV?
Nah, Channel V.
Channel V, sorry.
Oh man, I don't even know.
Because Channel V's cable, that shit was.
Yeah, it was big back then. Channel V was massive. It was cable TV. Everyone had cable TV, and everyone was watching Channel V. It was huge. So. Yeah, it was the Channel V bus or something. I don't even know what it was called. I forget. It's so long ago. It's 10 years ago.
Shit.
But that was fun. And then that's when I got to meet like, because they would have like Delta Goodrum and Missy Higgins and, you know, Grinspoon and those guys performing. Like big acts. Like, you know, you're like, oh, hang out with Delta Goodrum. So I was like this hip-hop turntablist now hanging out with Delta Goodrum. It's kind of like, okay, cool, you know, hanging out with Delta Goodrum, or, you know, hanging out with Missy Higgins. You kind of like, okay, I'm in a different realm now. Like we're in a different situation. This is not where I thought I was gonna be, but it's taken that route. And then yeah, had the show that went for like a month or so. It was a while, and we're traveling on a bus, man. You know, for like hours. And then they would film me on the bus playing video games and listening to music. Be like, hey, what are you doing today? Nah. I was playing video games. Like, that's what I do as a DJ. We just play video games. Play video games and scratch. And video games, scratch. Video games. That's what I do. So that was cool. That then, yeah, that pushed me in a different world. That then put me, when that finished, then the next door opened straight away, which was Nova Radio. That was like nationally syndicated show. That was major. That was like, I'm on major radio now. So it was kind of like, when I looked back, I was like, I've got these titles, dope. The first turntablist to get signed to a major label, put out gold, platinum selling CDs. And I get signed to a TV station. And then I get signed to a major radio station. It was kind of like, okay, whatever I'm doing right. Like, I'm good. We're doing good. We're kind of like, we're doing good. And then I got signed to like Jim Beam and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, things are just happening back then. Like,
out of curiosity, when you get signed to a Jim Beam deal,
yeah, you love it. You love it. Oh, best thing ever. Jim Beam. Oh my God, it's amazing. Nah, man, I liked it. Yeah, when you get signed, you gotta, if you don't like it, then you're a sucker for it. But I actually was like, when they're like Jim Beam, I was like, I can't drink that. I don't drink that stuff. And then they were like, we have this Jim Beam and Coke stuff. Because back then it was just Jim Beam in a bottle. And then they were selling this Jim Beam and Coke thing. And like, I know to people now, they're probably like, oh, Jim Beam and Coke. This is how old. So we're talking like years ago. There was no Jim Beam and Coke and Jim Beam in different flavors. And they gave me this thing and I'm a sugar junkie. So it's like, oh yes, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I'm good with this one. Give me these. They're like, cool, let's do it. So yeah, because I don't kind of like sponsorships. I don't have like sponsors and endorsements. I have endorsements, but it's only with people who are cool. Like, like Baggy's cool. They're cool.
dudes that you got relationships with.
People who are cool, man. Like people I can relate to, and I'll always take a sponsorship if it's someone like I can actually relate to. You know what I mean? But like if a salad company came to me, can you sponsor? I'm like, no, it ain't happening. Pizza Hut, yes. It's like a donut, Krispy Kreme, the Thai restaurant down the road. Yes, 100%. They can sponsor me, but
so if you're fucking with it, you'll cop that sponsorship.
I can't wait. But if it's something I can't fuck with, then
what's the point?
What's the point? Sometimes money. It's not just about money. If it was about money, then like I wouldn't have done half the things I've done. You know what I mean? Like, because I've had other opportunities to make like more money, and I've wasted a lot of money doing things that well, why spend money on that? Like, but if you kind of look at it as a money thing, you're done. Like it's a game over for you. Like I've never came into this as money. I've always looked at it as passion. Like I have fun. Like I'll do a gig. I'll make thousands on a gig, or I can make $100. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh no, I have to make that much. It's about the gig. If they want to pay, they pay. If they want to pay that, they pay that. I'm good. As long as it's something I'm like, I feel good about. Anything that gives me that extra good feeling in life, then I'm good. I don't do things for numbers. I don't do them for money. Same with social media. Like I don't care. 2,000 likes, 20 likes, 2 likes. Who cares? Like I just, if you want to like my stuff, then cool. But numbers don't matter, and like that doesn't matter, and money didn't matter, and sponsorships didn't really matter to me. If someone came to me, they're like, "Hey man, we want to sponsor you." Cool. All right. Cool. Endorsement, yeah, cool. Send me some stuff. I like it. If I don't like it, I ain't gonna do it. Like,
yeah, that's authentic. That's real.
I'm not that guy. You'll never see me like selling myself in any way. Like you'll never. Just don't do that. It's not like lazy. I know there's guys that push. Nino pushes. He's always trying to like, yo man, you got to do this, and this. And I'm like, man, I don't want to. Sorry, bro. Just don't. No. I had to. Back then, you had to prove yourself. You had to have skills back then. You can't just. Where now you just press a button and you're a DJ. Back then you couldn't. You couldn't do that. You had to be dope. Like, you couldn't suck DJing
And get somewhere.
and get somewhere. Where now, it's kind of like the opposite way. As long as you suck, you can get any gig you want. You can suck the whole industry off and get gigs. Like, but that's where it is. That's where it is. Back then, man, if you were not good, you were out. You were.
Yo, man, you get booed.
You get booed.
Shit thrown at you.
Shit thrown at you.
Shit was real
I
back
remember
then,
that.
man.
I remember watching DJs getting booed, and I was like, "Oh man."
Do you have any memorable stories of anyone particular who just really had it given to them on stage for being trash?
Nah, back then it wasn't. Nah, back then you had to be. Everyone had to be. Like, everyone was good. There was no trash. Like, and I'm one to call out on the trash people. Like, I don't hold back. I have no
Filter.
care. I don't care. I have no filter. I don't care. Back then everyone was dope. Yeah, man, yeah, you had like Nino and Motto and Peter Guns and
Club Joint All Stars.
Club Joint All Stars, crazy, and
Yeah,
Nike.
they're fire, man.
Yeah, and then we had internationals, the Shorty Blitz, and Pogo, and Cash Money, and all these guys coming, and that was dope. And you're like, yeah, everyone's like pushing each other, and all the new guys like myself, Echo, you had like Norms, all these guys, you had to be good, and you had to enter the competition. Stanley, I remember Stanley had, was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It was killer. He was a turntablist killing it, more advanced than anyone. And then you'd see him at a club and he'd be rocking a club. You'd be like, whoa, okay. You had to be dope in order to get a gig. And to keep the gig, you had to be dope. Where, yeah, things changed. Like, it changed. So be it. But I realize you still have to be dope. Like, I've had longevity because I'm dope, you know what I mean? Like, this is not the first, it's not the first Havana Brown I've seen. It's not the first Tiger Lily I've seen in 15 years. There's been so many of them. Like, you just forget the names. But there's been, DJs. And when I see, these guys who come out and they're like, oh, I'm the number one party rocker, I've seen these DJs come in and fall off. And in the DJ world, I have this theory, which I kind of tell my DJ friends. There's this thing called the Ferris wheel. This has been new to everyone, but this is my theory on the Ferris wheel, right? So every DJ gets to go on the Ferris wheel, right? Whenever you see a DJ posting up, like, I'm here, this weekend, I'm here, they're on the Ferris wheel right now. They're getting all the gigs, they're getting everything. But then you got to get off for the next guy. It's what you do after. And what happens is you see these guys come in full blast, they're playing everywhere, and, they're getting the attention, they're getting the gigs, and people are hyping them up, but then they don't live up to the hype. They don't put in the work and live up to the hype. So when they're out, when you're off the Ferris wheel and it's the next guy, you're then forgotten. And now it's his turn. And then he's off and then you're in. Like, you know what I mean? And it kind of, it's the guys that kind of did something afterwards. Like, okay, I had my go, but I'm going to set myself up in a way that, people always know I'm going to kill it everywhere I go, and I'm going to live up to the expectation that I'm dope. I'm playing everywhere because I'm dope. Not I'm playing everywhere because I'm the fresh new guy, I'm the new name, I'm the cheaper guy with the new name, and all the reasons why we see. But everyone gets to go. Like, everybody gets to go. But when your time's up, and I could like spin off names. I've seen it over 15 years. I've seen the up-and-comer DJ who's, he's the new guy, he's going to kill everyone, and then disappears. because then there's another new guy. He's then going to kill everyone and disappears. And just, it keeps going and going around and round and round in a circle like a Ferris wheel. So I sit back and I just watch. And I just kind of do my thing. And now I've realized, like, you know what, I'm going to do my thing. I'm touring, I'm traveling around. But being dope is always going to have you succeeding.
Longevity.
Yeah, it's the longevity. It's not about the now. It's about the wow. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of DJs don't understand that. They think it's about, I need to be doing all this stuff now, right now. I need to be playing at the biggest clubs right now. I need to be killing it right now. It's not about that. It's about the wow. When people see you, when they do see you, they're like, whoa, wow, this guy's dope. It's not about like, okay, this is the guy that's on now and he's killing it now. Because then, yeah, man, you have someone like, you can't say you're the dopest. See, I've had situations with DJs who have gone, oh, I'm the dopest DJ. I'm killing. I'm running things. I'm the champion. I'm the party rocker king. And then I go, all right, cool. You want to say that, but can you say that in front of Nino Brown? Really? Guy has 100,000 plus fans. Guy gets on planes every weekend. Plays in front of 2,000 plus people every weekend. You can't say you're the dopest DJ in Australia. And then you've got this guy sitting on a plane like, yeah, I'm flying in now. And you're stuck in the same town every week. And everyone's dope at their club, at their residency. You're dope when you're playing in front of the same 100 people that you play in front of every week because they become like family. You know exactly what your family likes to hear. So you're the dopest in front of your people.
Legend in your own lunchbox.
You're a legend in your own lunchbox. Yeah, it's easy to play to people, you know exactly what they want to hear when they want to hear it. But when you go out back, you know, like in Bushwick towns where no one knows who you are, no one cares who you are, that's when you're dope, when you rock them. When you rock it at a club where no one, and people don't know the music, and you smash it, that's when you're a dope DJ. That's what gets my respect. Guys are kind of like, yo, man, like I played at this club and I smashed it. I was like, well, your job is to smash it. That's your job. You can't have DJs going around going, oh, man, I played this club last night and I was shit. Like, no DJ says that. Oh, man, I was terrible. I just went there purposely to be terrible.
Even if they were terrible, that's how you know they will.
Yeah, but every DJ is like, oh, man, I'm going to go here and smash it. Of course, that's your job. So 2005, I did ITF because it was like, I'll tell you that story. So I left 2002 and then 2003, 2004, 2005, all I copped was everyone going, Samrai's not coming back. Samrai's not coming back. He can't do it anymore. He's over it. He's done. He can't keep up with these guys. He can't do it. He's not as talented. He's not as skilled. I copped it for 3 years. I copped the scene. And this is where it worked out because I knew I was like getting pushed. Like, as I said before, there was me and then there was them. And they wanted it, so I was out. So they put it on themselves. You killed yourself with that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you called me out for 3 years. Call me out for 3 years. And what happened? What happened? I took a massive dump on the whole scene. Came back and took a massive dump. And we all know it. Like, this is how bad it was. So for 3 years I got called out constantly. Called out constantly. Oh, no, you know, he's whack. He can't do it anymore. That's why he doesn't do it anymore because these guys are better. I was like, okay, no worries. Cool. ITF came up. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, no worries. I entered like 3 days beforehand. Like I hit up KC, and I was like, yo, I'm entering. I was like, okay. This is how I'm always prepared. Like, that's where people underestimate me. Like, I might not do these competitions, But I have a passion for putting routines together. Like I live for it. I live and breathe it. I'll wake up as I did 15 years ago, wanting to do juggles and routines and scratch routines. Today, I still wake up with that same passion. I want to make routines. I never, when I was doing Blazin and doing all this stuff, I was still in my setup, still coming up routines. I had piles of routines. I was like, all right, these guys want to call me out? Cool. I'm going to wait to the most opportune moment when there's like the heavies are in it. And it was. There was the heavies.
So who was in it?
There was J-Red, there was Perplex, there was all these other dudes who were like killing it at the time. There was names. There was some names. I was like, all right, cool. I'm coming straight in heavy. And I remember being at the roll call thing where they pull everyone's name out of the hat. And we're like sitting around. It's like all these DJs sitting around and I'm there. And then everyone's like kind of coming up like, oh man, are you judging? Like, oh, you just came here to check it out. Oh, yeah. And then when they pull my name out of the hat, the whole place, the faces just dropped. Everyone's face dropped. I was like, all right, cool. No worries. Then I remember about half an hour later, Casey came up to me and he's like, yo, man. So we've had 7 guys pull out already. Like, what? It's like, yeah, man, as soon as your name got called, it was like, dudes are just pulling out now.
Wow.
And I'm like, why? Just do it, man. Just do it. Anyway, so I remember that night. That's the night I was kind of like, it was the first competition I'd won and didn't feel satisfied. That really was the nail in the coffin for me to go, I'm done with competing. There's no challenge anymore. And it was the worst. I remember standing on the side of the stage, looking down at all the competitors after my first round, because these are the same guys that were calling me out. And so I ended. I came to battle. It was a battle. I came to battle. I remember standing on the side of the stage after the first battle, and I think it was Perplex. It was like annihilation. I was like, really? Is this? You called me back. Like, you called me out, and you bring me this weak shit. Like, what an insult. It's like insulting to me. So I remember standing on the side of the stage. There's all the guys there. And I was like, I remember saying, from this point on, don't step on this stage unless you are 100% going to beat me. If you don't feel 100% that you're going to beat me, don't bother. Don't step one foot on this stage. I'm winning tonight. I own this motherfucker right now. Don't step here. Don't even get on the stage. Just pull out. Don't do it. Unless you're 100% going to beat me, then don't bother. And then it was just the next guy, blang, done. Murdered. I was like, what did I say? What did I say? You call me out and then this is what you're going to give me? And then I had J-Red in the final. And I was like, finally. The main guy calling me out. Let's do this. He's going to come hard. All right, cool. So I do my routine. And then he does his routine. And I'm like, is that it? What? Is that it? I was like, okay. What am I doing here now? Because this is embarrassing. So, and this video, I pulled out one. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this one turntable routine that I do for fun at home. But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give him one of my turntables. So I pulled out one of the turntables. I walked it over to the other side of the stage. And I give it to him. And he's like, what's wrong? Is it broken? I was like, no. I'm just going to beat you with one. that's how easy it is. And then they were like, "Urgh," and the crowd was like, "Urgh." And I was like, which is a funny story. And I beat him with one. It was like, and because then he came back with some like other routine. I was like, what? What is this? But the thing was, is like, this is disheartening. It's no diss to those guys. Like, they might take it if they watch this. Like, and you want to take it as a diss, take it as a diss. I don't give a shit. I'm not dissing you. I'm just saying, if you're gonna call someone out for 3 years and then they return, ooh, slaughter me. Like, I came there to go, okay, cool. I should be destroyed tonight. I'm the old guy right now, hasn't entered in 3 years. I haven't done any competitions. I haven't done nothing in 3 years. Cool. I'm meant to be like booted out. Like, yeah, good. Don't come back. And it wasn't. It was like the opposite way. And I won. And I was just like, I don't feel good. I used to win competitions and be like, yeah, like that feeling you get. Any turntables knows when they win a competition, that feeling they get when they win, it was taken away. It was just like, I feel like I just took a kid's ice cream from him, like a little child, and then bashed him and then walked around like, look how strong I am. I am the man. Like, there's no win in that. There's no win. There's no feeling like you the man. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm like, now we're done. Because if I'm not getting that sense of challenge, you know, that push-pull, like, oh, am I going to win? Am I not going to win?
Then there's no, like...
Do I need to step up?
Yeah.
Do I need to do this? I need to do this better? I need to kind of... If you're just coming in and just like laying waste with ease, it wasn't even like close. If it would have been close, then like have me worried. Have me like, after every round, I was just like, yeah, man. So I was like, it's not even close. It's not even worth it anymore. If it's not close, it's not worth it. So I just stepped away. And then right after that, that's when Channel V kind of stepped in.
I guess the biggest talking point of turntablism, hip hop DJing in 2016, Red Bull 3 style.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in what I see, that's kind of taken over the DMCs in terms of popularity and what it does for your career if you do well in there.
Yeah.
Now, you came third 2016 in the Worlds for the Red Bull 3 style.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit that went down in the lead up to that.
Yeah.
Now, I fucks with the internet like anybody else really, but not heavy. So you hear bits and pieces and that.
Yeah.
I guess give us your experience of the 2016 Red Bull 3 style, like the whole process from beginning to end.
Oh, man, where do you begin? I mean, no, like, it was all good. You know, like I entered, I put in my 5-minute video and they came back and they were like, yeah, look, we want to have you there. And straight away they knew, like, Red Bull Australia was like, what's beast mode? And I was like, look, I've evolved. You know, like I'm doing different stuff now, and my skill set is changed. So like, and any DJ who evolves themselves, usually get Grandmaster title. You know, like, and when you've done when you've accomplished so much, you get that Grandmaster Rock Raider. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Grandmaster Flash, and I mean, he named himself that. But there's that. When I evolved, I was like, well, I don't really kind of look at it as Grandmaster Samrai. And that's an old way of saying it. That's like an old way. So I kind of looked at it like, well, you know, I didn't want to change my name, but I would post stuff up. This is a good explanation of where the name came from. So I'd post things up. I'd post videos, routines, little things, and I'd keep getting people like writing beast mode. Hashtag beast mode. Sam's gone beast mode. Or beast mode Samrai. Beast mode Samrai. Beast mode, beast mode. And I'm like, for years. For like 3 years. I was like, what the? Use my tag. I have a tag. It's hashtag DJ Samrai. Or hashtag Samrai. I have a tag. Why are you guys tagging this beast mode shit? Then it was just like, people just kept coming up. You're a beast. You're a beast. I'd be at clubs. I'd be doing stuff. And people calling me beast mode. I'm like, what? I'm Samrai. Like, and then it just kind of was like, you know what? I've evolved. I feel like Samrai is the past, and I've done that, and I'm doing different stuff. My skill set changed. My whole attitude changed. Everything changed. And I was like, okay, I feel evolved. So why not, like, I'm going to start putting out production. I'm going in a different direction. All right, what do we do? And then I was like, and a friend was like, why don't you go with what people are actually calling? Because they're not calling you Samrai anymore. They're calling you beast mode now. I was like, all right, cool. Let's go with that. Let's just evolve my name into a beast. I guess I'm a beast, and it suits. Like, it suits. When people watch me now, they keep saying that name, and they kind of like forget the rest. I was like, all right, cool. I'm into Red Bull under this, like a refresh, you know. And a part of me kind of wanted the challenge. I thought, if people see Samrai's entered Red Bull, they won't want to enter. 5 minutes? Look at that. I didn't want the same problems as ITF. I was like, I don't want to enter a comp and then people start pulling out. I want to be challenged. I want to be challenged. That's the whole purpose of being a DJ. So I did Red Bull. I went down to Melbourne, you know, and the set I had was not the set I planned on doing. My original set was more club orientated. It was more suited for Red Bull. But then I thought, wait a second. Do I want the same problems as the past? Do I listen to the champions prior to me who say, make sure it's 100, like, it has to be you. Yeah, undeniable set. You have to do undeniable. All right, cool. I can do undeniable. So I did all this crazy stuff, like next level stuff. And then kind of like the whole process was bad. You know what I mean? Like Melbourne hates Sydney. So I didn't get no crowd response. They hated me from start to end. They hated me. I had technical problems at the start. All right, cool. We move on. Let's adapt. We go forward. And then fucking idiot cheating. This was like, so it all kind of like, he won, and I was like, all right, cool. Wait a second. That set was whack as fuck. Like, man, really, I don't know. I just kind of was, I expected more from a winning set.
So you're talking G Smooth.
Yeah.
So
because he won. They put him first. But then I realized, like, well, wait a second. You know, it wasn't until later things went kind of like the next day. Literally the next day. That's when things started kind of rolling in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, he won. I was like, you know what? Stuff this. Like, this is whack. It's another Melbourne thing where we're going to put our guy first and, you know, whatever, you know, weak judging. And it was weak judging. And then the next day it was kind of like things started turning. Started getting the fake DJ messaging and like, did you notice last night this guy didn't, you notice this? Did you notice this? Did you notice this? And I was like, nah. Let's wait for the videos. Because there was like 6 GoPros set up. I was like, you know what? Video never lies. Video never lies. So there was already the hint of a fake set. You know what I mean? It was like the hinting. It wasn't like yet. So we're like, all right, cool. We'll wait for the videos. And I put up that, you know, I went online. I was like, let's wait till the videos. And then shit went sour. I was like, okay, here we go. Everyone online needs to have their say. Cool. Let's roll with that. And then when we got the videos and then the things started happening in the background, because a lot of guys didn't realize all the online fake stuff, that happened after. We all knew. We'd received like messages. I got bombarded. I got bombarded with messages like, check out this time, check out this time, check out this time, check out this. And I was like, oh, whoa. And that's when it was like, okay, now I'm going to go social media. Like, I'm going to sting all those people. And they know who they are. And I kept like, yeah, come on. Come in. The storm's about to hit. You don't know it's about to hit, but just keep. Okay, I told you I was sneaky. I told people this. It's like, oh man, you're going back and forth with this guy, and you're going back and forth with this guy. Yeah. Because what happens when the shit hits the fan, they all look bad. No, I don't. I look like, oh man, this guy was right. This guy was right the whole time. He was right. So I kind of played everyone, was pulling them in, my little deviant plan. But in the background, we all knew it was about to drop. Like, that it was a fake set. The whole thing was fake from start to end.
So the whole thing, you think the whole thing was fake? Pre-recorded?
It was 100%. It's a fake. It's a fake set. I didn't realize, because what happened is on the night, my mixer started stuffing up. I don't know, just things happen. So I ended up using G Smooth's mixer. I put his in and it wasn't working either. And I'm like, okay, how can you have two brand new Pioneer mixers not working? And then I realized, his gains are literally all the way down because there was no sound coming through. And we were like, why is there no sound? And it was like, oh, the gains are all the way down. Like, I didn't catch on to that. Like, I didn't catch that because you don't think of those things. And then later on, I was like, this little fuck boy, he had it set up so the gains are down. Like, he had it all prepped, ready to, he knew. He did that, he knew. And that's when I look back in my memory and I'm like, oh, when I asked for I need to get your mixer, he kind of like hesitated. And I just grabbed the shit anyway. I was like, oh, yeah, cool, man. That's cool. It's okay. I'm not going to break it. But that's when I was like, oh, this guy set it up. This guy's, he went there purposely to fake that set, which is weird because it's the easiest set ever. Like,
well, not only that, like,
it's whack.
I always thought that it'd be harder to fake a set.
It's harder to fake it.
To do
oh
it.
Man, it's harder to fake it. Like, you can't memorize your every movement,
like every click,
every movement. It was just like, so when I first started getting the correspondence from like this is fake, I even me, I had to step back and go, I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the gains were a little bit up. Maybe maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. And then he came on and posted, oh, I had my gains a little bit. He gave his bullshit excuse. But then it was like, it was too many. There was way too many. It was like, it became like a list because everyone kept adding to this list. And Red Bull's like showing us this list and we're like, okay. It was literally like every 10 seconds, something fake. And you'd see it in the video, be like, all right. So from start to end, this dude faked it. And then it turned into like a whole debacle of, if he proves he can do the set. See, this is how stupid this is how stupid people are. If he can prove he can do the set, then he shouldn't be disqualified. Ding, ding, ding. Retard alert. He can do the set. He recorded the set. Of course he can do the set. He recorded it beforehand, before the event. Of course he can do the set. It's not like someone ghosted the set and then he just played it out and they're like, okay, well, if he can prove that he did it and not someone else. No. Of course he can do the set. He recorded it. He pressed record some on his computer and did that thing. What he couldn't do was when he went into his computer program, like he used Pro Tools or he used Logic or he used Ableton and went in and started editing and adding scratches that you can't do, that no one can do, that Qbert can't even do. When you do scratches that Qbert can't even do, and you're not known by Qbert, then come on, man. The impossible scratch, that's what he's known for now. The impossible scratch. Because it's impossible. No one can do it. Qbert can't do it. That's how you got caught. Like, you got caught in the worst possible way. Like, not only did you fake the whole set, but then you created things that no man can like do. Like, come on, man. The machine gun of scratching, like, that doesn't exist, that no one, like, come on, you'd need like 4 faders. Like, and you'd have to use all 4 of them. Like, there's no mixer. Pioneer just came out with the S9, which has pads and it's a new age kind of fader. But you would literally need a mixer that has like 3 or 4 crossfaders that all like did a different kind of thing, and you would have to learn how to use all of the faders at once to do that scratch. And you did it. And yeah, it was fake as like, come on, it's fake.
So then once you guys
Oh my
kind of
God.
felt that it was fake, and obviously you felt like you got robbed.
I got robbed. Yeah, that's when I knew I got robbed.
So then where did it go from there?
Oh, that's when Z Trip and Jazzy Jeff and those guys stepped in. It was like, okay, this guy's out. Like, he's out, you're in. Like, and that's when the apologies started kind of coming in. Like, sorry on the night, and I was like, look, it's cool. It's cool because who looks for this thing? It's never been done in the history of ever. Like, the first time ever. And it's insulting to Australians. Like, the most disrespectful thing you could do is fake a set. Like, I don't get it. I don't get that.
Did you see it was either a tweet or a post Jazzy Jeff put up saying, what was it? The only
chili you're going to see in a chili in a Thai restaurant. Or something funny.
Yo, when I seen that, because
done.
at that time, like, I wasn't on the forums and shit hard, but I'd heard about it.
Yeah.
But I saw someone post a screen capture of, like, whether it was Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, Jazzy.
Once I seen that, I thought, yo, when Jeff calls you out like that,
You're done.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're finished.
You're done. Even if, like, you didn't fake us and Jazzy Jeff calls you out. It's
done.
like, okay, you're done. If Jazzy Jeff calls it, you're done. But, you know, they had Jazzy Jeff, Scratch Bastard, Vekhead, Z-Trip, every previous world, like, Red Bull champ. I mean, Newmark. You had all these guys, like, literally an endless amount of DJs looking at this video. It wasn't just, like, Red Bull looking at it. It was, like, legends. If it can amount to anything to be proud of, you can at least say, I had legends watching my video. Because those guys wouldn't take any notice. You think they're watching YouTube videos of you guys DJing? They're not. You think Jazzy Jeff's like on YouTube looking for your DJing videos? No. But to be a DJ that can say, I had every like previous Red Bull champ and Jazzy Jeff and Craze and all these guys like having to dissect my video, watching me. I mean, that's something, at least. Well, I mean, it was not in a good way, but at least you can say like, hey man, Jazzy Jeff took the time to watch my stuff.
So when he got stripped of the title and then you got announced the national winner, did you guys have a conversation? Like, have you had a conversation with G Smooth?
Nah, that little boy. I'm glad I can swear on this, right? Or no? Or are we beeping?
Nah, you cool.
That fat boy. Not only would he not give back the award, like a really disrespectful. Like, you already disrespected the country. Like, really? And you're going to keep the award too? Like, you mentally... that's when we all thought, nah, actually, yeah. And that's when we thought, like, okay, this dude's mentally retarded. Like, these guys got obviously some sort of issue. That's when actual guys like started feeling worried. So like, oh man, this guy's got problems. Which we didn't want to happen, and that's why we all tried to reach out and be like, yo, man, you cool? Like, we good? You good? Like, but he didn't want to talk to us. So it's all right, cool. Well, fuck you then. He then put out a post because Red Bull were trying to contact him, and like he was like dicking them around. Wasn't saying anything, but he was on his social media saying how he's going to prove everyone wrong. That's when I messaged him, and I was like, dude, you're fucked. Like, you faked the set. Just own it. You tried to prove yourself with that first video, and you made yourself look 20 times worse because you just proved it again, how badly you faked it. But now you're going to do another proof after these legends called you out. You're going to disrespect Jazzy. You're gonna tell Jazzy Jeff that he's wrong. You're gonna tell Z-Trip he's wrong. You Scratch Bastard, you're wrong. Come on, man. I messaged him this. I still got the messages. Like, you can't do this. You can't do it. The first time they let you slide. If you call out these guys, they'll murder you for it. They will let the world know how terrible and whack you are and what a fuckboy you are. And he did it. Good work. You called out Jazzy Jeff. You called out Scratch Bastard. You called out Z-Trip by saying they were wrong, and then they murdered you for it. And now the whole world knows you. The whole world knows you now. The whole world knows. Every DJ knows the name G Smooth. That's another thing you can like accolade yourself to, that the whole world knows the name G Smooth. I mean, they know it as Fuckboy, the most fakest DJ in the world. Like, literally the fakest DJ in the world. There's David Guetta, who we all know is fake, and you fake it in him. And he's like the bottom of the barrel, kind of like, you know, he's like, okay, this guy's fake. But you like worse than that. And the disrespect our country and everything we lived up for. Like, Dexter put us on the map. And we've been like busting our ass to be known in the scene. Like, we had respect. You know, when we have respect is when we came third in DMCs. When Dexter put us on the map, it's like, okay, Australia's doing something. They're actually doing something. And he just shot all over it. He just took it all away. He took all the work. Lucky I did what I did in the world finals. we would have been the laughing stock of the world.
And then you went over to Chile.
Oh,
tell us about that.
That was, it was a shitty win.
Because
I didn't win. It was like disqualification based on the worst possible scenario ever. But they recognize that. I take it as like, you know what? At the same time, I took it as, okay, cool. You guys need to cheat in order to beat me. I should take that as a positive note. You guys need to cheat to beat me. It's cool. I get it. I know I'm that good. If you guys need to cheat to beat me, shit, that's a compliment. I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. you need to fake a whole set to beat me. Wow. I must be that good. Shit. Anyway, on to the next. I got to Chile and it was like, I'd already kind of like linked up online with half the competitors. You know what I mean? So it was cool. And they were all asking me about G Smooth thing. And the whole thing was a situation. Even when I got there, it was a situation. Yeah, but but it was cool. Everyone, it made everyone then go look at my profiles and see my videos and go, oh wow, this guy is dope. And then that's when the kind of tables turned, when everyone was like, you should have won hands down. We watched the set. You should have won hands down. I was like, yeah, look, it's Melbourne. It's a thing. It's political. It's things. Whatever. So everyone knew like me now. They like, okay, this guy knows how to do stuff. It's not just, yeah. Yeah, man. Then we had qualifiers, and I got put in the last day. Well, I picked the last day to go first, but then I got put in like with 3 other favorites. You know, I had to go up against Trays, who was American champion, and he'd been there like 4 times. He's a veteran of Red Bull. You had like Pro Zako, who's a former DMC world champ, ITF world champ, like world champ of turntablism. He's like well known. And then you had 69 Beats, who was the favorite. It's like king of tone play. Guys, he plays. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. It's like next level. Like cool. So I've got these guys, and then I had like Roos from New Zealand, who's DMC champion for New Zealand. And I had Flink, who is like a really dope DJ, technical DJ. He's like he was dope, man. So I was like in a really tough round, but I was like, you know what? I don't really care who I'm going up against. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to just do what I do, and I do what I do. Like that's it. So I went in, won the qualifier, and then had the world finals the next day, and was up against JFB. Any turntablist knows, like, come on, man, this guy's freak. He's a freak of nature. You had like Yuki from Japan, and Japanese are always dangerous, and he's dope. Trapman from Canada, and Puffy, who was the favorite as well from Barbados. Puffy's like the dopest dude ever. He deserved like on a DJ level. He was incredible, and he deserved it that night. I had major issues, you know, like I kind of spooked myself in some ways at the world finals. Like the qualifying, that's how I play. Like I go hard and I smash. You know, I love playing hype. You know what I mean? Like, and then when it came to the finals, I was like, do I want to like go a different route? Do I want to show my skill set? Do I want to like be more for clubs? I've done a lot of, I did, you know, like the night before I smashed, and it was hard. People got to understand, like, I was on the night before, and, you know, you get back to your hotel room at like 4 a.m, and then you're up at 7 o'clock in the morning because you got to go do sound checks and things. It was like, oh man. And it's hot. On the video, it looks real nice, doesn't it? It looks like, oh, you just go on stage and you just play. Nah. It's like, man, it's like 50 degrees. You're dying. So you like stand in one spot and you're just dripping with sweat. And then going on a stage with lights and all that and cameras and things. And it's hard, man. And I like no sleep, hardly any food that day. So it's kind of like it wears into you. You know, a DJ needs to rest. And that's the one thing you kind of like, you got to understand. This is real DJing. You have to like do these things. People think Red Bull's real easy. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this. It's not that. Whatever you think it is, it's not that. You have to be like, you can be the best DJ in the world and not even make the final. It's on the night.
Yeah, it's all on the night.
It's on the night. What happens on the night? And you don't know what they like. See, this is the other thing. You prepare for months for this set. To go to a country you've never played at before. To a bunch of people you don't know what they like. So you prepare a set of music that you like. To people that don't know what you play. They don't know you. And you don't know them. So it's kind of like, no one can just like, I'm going to win this. So when I see DJs going, I'm going to go back in Red Bull and win it. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. I've been there. And I got to the world finals. I got to the final.
And came third.
And man, like technically better than Puffy. You know, hands down, he knows that. And skill set better. You know, my knowledge of music, the way I can go, the way I can move, better as any DJ does. But on that night, it just didn't, like, it doesn't go. Like, sometimes it just doesn't go. You can't. You got to take in different factors. You got to take in the music, the current music, the way you present the music, the way you present yourself. It's not just, there was dudes like, oh man, you had like really technical DJs, like Cross, who's one of the dopest scratch DJs right now. Like, this guy's he's a scratch DJ. And he's dope. He's dope on juggles, and he's clean, and he does everything. Like, he's dope. He's dope. That's it. He didn't even make the final. Why? I don't know. Because
On the night.
Either on the night or the way people viewed him on that night. He's doing crazy stuff, but if they don't have a connection with you know what I mean, then, you know, Skrillex is not the best DJ in the world. But people relate. They're like, whoa, it's crazy. Martin Garrix shouldn't be number one DJ in the world, according to DJ Mag. But, you know, the thousands that go to his show, they relate to they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. But, so you got to understand, it's not just about being the dopest DJ. Because there's guys who are the best DJs in the world, who consider the best DJs in the world, who aren't dope at being DJs. It's about the package of it, you know. And then that year, like, Puffy's got a real good package. He's you know what I mean. Like, this is a guy that gets dissed online and is like, you know what, man, it's all good. It's just people, man. What can you do? You can't please everyone. Like, whoa, like,
It's an admirable attitude.
that's an attitude. That's a cool attitude. Anyone else would be like, what, man? What's that?
And so were you happy with your, like...
I was happy. You know what? Like, I can't call it. I had a needle break halfway.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
I remember
it was-
that. Shit, and you came third.
you gotta remember, man, like a needle breaks in a DJ competition, and your mindset is not thinking like a needle's gonna break, so I should have one spare. Everyone was like, oh, why didn't you have one spare? Because you don't think of these things. No one thinks of these. It's not going to break. Who just randomly breaks their needles? Come on. Things don't happen. But, you know, you have a stage moving around, things moving around. It's like, it broke. What can I do?
Well,
Anyone
didn't Jeff come from the back?
Yeah, this is a crazy situation. So in any situation, so, you know, you'd call it quits. You know, you'd be like, well, what am I meant to do? In my head, I was like, I have different avenues here. I can either just let this song play, make it really awkward and run to my bag, which is on the side of the stage, and grab a needle, and then run back. Which, yeah, who cares? No one probably would care. They'd probably be like, where's he gone? 2 seconds, and then he's back. I was like, oh, I could just put it on internal mode and let it play and figure out something. When you're in that moment, you kind of like, oh no, what am I going to do? I got no needle. So I looked around. I was like, you know, I kept my cool. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask the stage of DJs. Someone's got to have a needle right now. I see a whole bunch of backpacks, DJ bags. There's got to be a needle somewhere around here. So I just started like freestyling. Mind you, I had to freestyle these cue points, which no one does. I was like, freestyling. I was like, hey, anyone got a needle? And I see Four Color Zach, who's previous world champ, and DJ Headspin, who's the previous world champ to him. They dropped into their bags. And I'm like, cool. If they're in their bags, they got needles. And then Headspin gives it to Jazzy Jeff. And Jazzy Jeff runs up. And the rest is history. He put it in their thing, and it was just like, yo, man, dope.
I think in 2005 in the final you battled J-Red.
Yeah.
Now I've heard that you and J-Red have had some chats about battling again, or.
Oh man, what for?
But I mean, is that something that has been discussed or that has been brought to your attention? That
no, because it was like, how many times can you beat someone? Like 2 times was enough, and like I had to go up against him in 2001 at the DMCs, and he was the favorite, and all that. I was like, okay, and 2005 kind of just really made me sour towards. Not toward. I don't know. It's weird. It was when you beat someone, it's like so easily. So what's the point? What's the point? What's the point afterwards? What do I gain from it? Like, yeah, it came up. Yeah, someone said, "Oh, why don't you battle J-Red? Yeah, you should battle J-Red and Samrai." Yeah, because it was after the Red Bull thing. Like, oh, you and J-Red should battle. It's like, well, what do I have to gain? I've already beat him twice. So on an emotional and personal level, I don't really gain anything. I know I've proven myself to myself and everyone else that, there's once and then there's twice. And the second time was like really bad. Like, that was really bad. To lose to one turntable, someone on a one turntable, that's bad. Like, come on, man, it's embarrassing. So what do I have to gain? What do I gain? Now I kind of like, I looked at it like, okay, so what can I take from it? What can I kind of put out and say? Like, if I battled like Vekhead, who's multi-champion, or Craze, and I win. Say I beat Craze in a battle. Say I say, I want to battle Craze, and I win. Then yeah, I gain. I'd be like, I beat Craze. But if Craze beats me, and which he would he go around going, I beat Samrai at a battle? No. He'd be like, well, who gives a shit? So me battling J-Red and winning, it'd be like, people would be like, so what? Who gives a shit? Like, you beat a guy who's less talented, less skilled, less creative than you, less established than you, less successful than you, and not like little bit, like majorly, like,
So you feel that you're significantly, hands down, a better DJ than J-Red?
Oh, hands down. I mean, that's like undeniable.
Have you guys had a conversation since?
You don't have to.
No, but have you?
Nah. Because like when that whole Red Bull thing happened, and he kind of went on his little, J-Red does this thing where he needs to prove himself. I don't fucking know why. He chose his way. I didn't. I chose to be successful in what I do. I didn't choose to just give up. Like, I don't know. I didn't do that. That's not me. And I chose to always stay relevant and stay on top of the game and keep, I'm always ready to go. And then with the battle thing, I was like, well, what do I gain? Like, I'm killing it. I mean, he's a Family Guy now. You can't beat up the Family Guy. What are you going to battle the Family Guy for? What are you going to gain from it? I can't then go out and be like, I beat DJ J-Red. And people are like, oh, well, who is he? Like, well, okay, he hasn't got a DMC title. Okay. He hasn't really got an ITF title. Okay. He hasn't got a title. Okay. There's no point. There's like no point. Him beating me serves him more purpose. But I don't want to talk about J-Red. I'm cool with J-Red. But the whole battle thing, like, I got love for J-Red. He's dedicated.
Hey man, I remember
he's a dedicated guy. I love that about the guy. You know what I mean? And I think like he's done a lot for the scene. He should have got a lot back from the scene. They should give him. He should get recognized a lot more. But you know, this game, you know,
It takes and it doesn't give.
It takes and doesn't give. That's where I see, like, I can see where it hurts. You know, when you see a guy who's kind of like, oh shit, that shit hurts. It's hurting them because he's not getting it back in return, and he should. He should be on all the turntable shows. He should be getting all the turntablist things that you get.
Opportunities.
He should be hip hop DJ because the guy knows his hip hop. The guy's a dope hip hop DJ. That's undeniable. You can't fuck with the guy. Like, he knows his hip hop. Like, you know, if you're gonna get someone to do a hip hop set,
That's your dude.
that's the dude you go to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the guy's gonna kill it. You know, so much respect to J Red. You know, like, one love. But on a battle thing, there's no win for me. There's no like challenge. There's no satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Did you ever get to battle Stain?
No, it was after my time.
Now, if you and Stain went at it, ITF or DMC,
Where's the reward?
you think you'd take him?
Oh yeah, easy. I'll take everyone, bro. I'll take everyone. I'm telling you, guys don't know. You guys don't know.
You reckon easy?
Yeah. Could any of these guys take DJ ID? ID, world champ, DMC. Could any of them take him?
I don't know.
No. And come on.
I don't know though. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
I say none of them could take him, but one. Man, I'm that confident. I'm on that level, and that's it.
That's fine, man.
And that's why me and ID are mad friends, because it's like he knows, like, oh shit. Dudes know not to mess with me. I'll destroy everyone in this country, but I don't need to. That's the point. I don't need to. Then be dope. Like, I'm not saying I can't lose, but to beat me is gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot, and that's the thing. If you're not confident enough, see, people will go, "Oh man, I could take him," and that's when I say, "Okay, could you take this guy?" And they're like, "Oh, could you take a world champion? Are you confident enough to win against the world champion?" And that's when they cringe. That's when they do what you just did. No. You just say no. Because it's like, oh, well, I don't know. Nah, the key word in that whole sentence is no. Take out the I don't, and it's just no. And see, for me, it's like, nah, I know my level. And I've seen everyone. And that's the thing. Stain, I saw Stain. He's cool. He does his thing, but
You never know, man. I might put up the
Never
bread
know.
one day to see that
She
shit.
put down to rant.
The lesson.